Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we got some breaking news that the Las Vegas Raiders have re-signed running back Ameer Abdullah. I'll tell you why they went that route. Then we got the latest on around Aaron Rodgers, must-see Lamar Jackson news, and then a player that I believe Las Vegas Raider fans need to keep on the radar because they could potentially bring him in. So why did the Silver and Black bring back Abdullah? He obviously has that connection with running back coach Troy Polamalu, which is one of the biggest reasons why he's on this team, considering the fact that Polamalu was the RB coach back with him in Minnesota. But the biggest reason here is his pass-catching ability and what he offers on special teams. With the Raiders franchise tagging Josh Jacobs, that's your bell cow. That's going to be the dude that gets over 320, 340 carries this upcoming season. But Abdullah does have that ability, I laugh, especially on third down, to be able to catch the football. He also offered the Raiders a little bit of help in that return game, 26 returns last season. Sure, he didn't find pay dirt, but I do know for a fact that Abdullah is going to help out this Raiders backfield. What I'm also hoping is this means that they get rid of Brandon Bolden and save a little bit over $2 million. Now, remember, if you're looking for that Raiders news, I want you to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, because this week is going to be insane with new stuff, new players signing with this team. To make sure you don't miss anything, seriously, subscribe. Let's now get into the latest here around Aaron Rodgers, and is he going to the Green Bay Packers? It is a report coming out here from the Pat McAfee show that apparently the Packers are going to be looking for a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers, and it does sound like if AR-12 wants to go to the New York Jets, it is 100% up to him. The question is, will the Jets give up that first rounder? It still remains to be seen. The latest now around Lamar Jackson, which is Baltimore, as we know, has placed the non-exclusive tag on Jackson, and he is only the third MVP ever to get it, Steve Young and Peyton Manning. Other teams obviously can negotiate with Jackson, and I know this has been a very popular talking point, not only on this show, but on many other shows. But the big-time thing that I want you guys to see around Jackson are the latest odds of where he could go, some destinations from ESPN, and then the final thing is, which I don't think nearly enough people are talking about, because I know Raider fans, some want Jackson to come to the Silver and Black, but there is something very important that you need to know that I'm going to tell you after I tell you about today's awesome sponsor. Huge shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring today's Raiders Report. You want to be a monster in the gym like Ameer Abdullah? If you haven't seen his NFL Combine metrics, they are about as good as you freaking get, man. The Raiders Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1. Buy Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive, convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted immune system support and wanted a supplement that tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. My grandma always said the early bird gets the worm, and AG1 inspires and motivates me to get as many worms as possible every day. AG1 really helps me getting my day started, getting out of bed, especially after some of our crazy shows. It can be difficult. And I'm a person who likes and needs a routine. AG1 helps me stick to my healthy routine, wake up early, take my AG1, take Chuck for a walk, then hit the gym before work. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like it because it costs them less than $3 a day. That's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It is a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So, Nation, what are you waiting for? Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link's going to be available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. All right, what else are we talking about here on the Raiders Report? The latest Lamar Jackson odds. And I'll be honest with you, these are wonky odds because to me, I don't think the Lions or the Buccaneers or the Colts or realistically even the Jets are going to go out and get Lamar. A lot of the teams that I think that they could potentially go is, well, what ESPN said. The teams that stick out to me are a lot of the teams that have already said they're not going to do it, like Atlanta, Carolina. I know the Raiders, there's been some conflicting reports on whether or not that they're going to make a move. All I know is it's weird to me that nobody wants an NFL MVP I get that he wants his money. There's no doubt about it. He deserves to get paid more than Deshaun Watson in my book, and I get that teams don't want to pay that. But here's my question, and be honest with me here. Do you want the Raiders to get Lamar Jackson? Give me a yes, or I want you to give me a no. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there. They're going to type their Y for yes. If the Raiders don't think that they can get a quarterback in the draft, I do want the Raiders to get Lamar, but there is something very important that you need to know, and this is coming in from Ian Rappaport, a complicating factor in regards to Lamar. If a team signs Lamar Jackson to an offer sheet, Baltimore has 5 days to match. That knocks that team essentially out of free agency and then loses the other available quarterbacks because they are paralyzed in cap space just waiting. It's not impossible, but hard. We know that the Raiders are a team that they need to be able to build. They need to build not only find that quarterback, they also need to be able to build the defense. If you were to say, all right, we want Lamar Jackson, and then you don't end up getting him, well, you might lose a shot on a lot of some of these other free agents. There's a risk, but hey, that's what being in Vegas is all about, right? Rolling the dice and risking it all. Next thing coming up here on today's show is a player that I actually think that the Silver and Black could have some interest in, and that is Braxton Berrios. Adam Schefter this morning broke the news that the New York Jets are releasing Berrios, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's a player that the nation needs to get on their radar. Why? He was a 6th-round pick by the New England Patriots back in 2018. Yeah, guess what? He also won a Super Bowl with the team that season. So you have this player who we already know that Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels have worked with. Anytime you hear that just light bulb should be going off in your head like, all right, this is a player that the Raiders could absolutely bring in. But here's your opportunity. B. Ziegler. Would you want the Raiders to sign Braxton Berrios? I want you to type S for sign, or I want you to go down in the comments section and I want you to type P for pass. It always comes down to the contract. If it's a cheap contract, then yes, I do think that it makes sense. I think he would be a great fit with this current Raiders team for multiple reasons. Yeah, he'd be a good slot receiver, a reliable slot receiver, which is realistically what you would look for in this Josh McDaniels system. Hunter Renfrow is still your main guy, but if you could find a player who, I don't know, gives you 20 catches, picks up a few clutch first downs, I go back and I think of some of those really great New England teams where they had the Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, the Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, right? 2 white slot receivers. It's just the cold, hard fact. I do always joke around saying that I look like I'd be a great receiver in a Josh McDaniels system. But it's not only that. It's what Berrios offers in special teams. And maybe I'm one of the only Raider fans out there that say this, but I don't want Hunter Renfrow to continue to return punts. I know, call me crazy. When you look at the last 4 seasons, though, for Braxton, 2021 was probably his best season, but I do want you to know that in 2021 and in 2020, he did also have 2 rushing touchdowns. So it could just be something that, guess what? The Raiders add, I guess I'll say, a little bit of more versatility to that offense. But the biggest reason why I would want Berrios to come to this team is because I would want him as a punt returner. 21 returns last season, 240 yards, 11.4 average. And if you're wondering, well, how does that compare to Hunter Renfrow? Last season, Hunter Renfrow, 11 returns, 74 yards, 6.7 average. Keelan Cole, 13 returns, 79 yards. Cole's a free agent. I don't want Hunter Renfrow returning punts, so if Berrios can come in on like a 2-year deal, $2 million deal, maybe even less than that, and he can take that pressure off of Renfrow, who's coming off a season where he had 2 concussions, that is more than worth the investment, especially since you gave Renfrow a 2-year, $32 million contract extension last offseason. Berrios also in the kick return game, which, funny enough, when I made this video, I was wondering, could Berrios be a kick returner? But now the fact that the Raiders brought back Ameer Abdullah, hey, it gives you a little bit more option nonetheless. But Berrios was one of the best returners in 2020 and arguably the best kick returner in 2021. When you compare Berrios' numbers from 2021 to 2022 with what Ameer Abdullah did last season, I think Abdullah is a reliable kick returner. But again, my big hope is by bringing back Abdullah, he's your 3rd down running back. You say, see you later, Brandon Bolden, and that could open up a new area on special teams for a guy like Berrios. So in conclusion, Berrios is a player that I believe that the Raiders will have interest in because he has worked with McDaniels, he has worked with Ziegler, and he would take some pressure off of Hunter Renfrow in the punt return game.